Commanders will face off against the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football this week, and I'm here to break it all down with you guys here just a couple days before we get this one going. So do me a favor here at the top of today's show, before I get into my score prediction, keys to victory, injury updates, all that great stuff, go ahead, do me a favor, click that thumbs up icon right now if you want Washington to come out of this week 3-2 and get the W. Now let's talk about this Week 5 matchup on Thursday Night Football. Short week for the Washington Commanders after they just took a tough 34-31 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. And I got to say, I think the Commanders are coming into this one with a lot of confidence, going up against the Chicago Bears team that is currently 0-4. Of course, the Commanders started off their season 2-0 against the Cardinals and the Broncos, respectively. Played a couple tough games against the Bills and Eagles. Now it starts to get a little bit easier. You got the Bears, you got the Falcons coming up as well. Sam Howell's looking good. I feel really good right now about where the Washington Commanders are sitting, and I'm super excited to see where this game goes. Now, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about this football game here in just a second. But first, do me a favor. Get down in the comments section and tell me who you got this week. Do you think the Commanders pull off the win at home on Thursday Night Football? Type WAS. Or if you've got the Bears pulling off the upset on the road here on Thursday night, give me a CHI down there in the comments section. All right, so let's go over what's happened so far on the Chicago Bears schedule. Of course, right now 0-4, and they've took losses to the Packers, Buccaneers, Chiefs, and Broncos to this point. So, of course, 0-4 to start. Not a great start for the Chicago Bears. Currently, if you want to know how bad the Bears are right now, they currently have the number 1 overall pick. And then also the second worst team, the other 0-4 team in the league, the Carolina Panthers, they have the number 2 overall pick. And, of course, the Bears get their pick for the next year's draft because of the Bryce Young trade. So right now the Bears have the first and second overall pick in next year's NFL draft. Head coach Matt Eberflus, I mean, some people are saying this Bears team is the worst coached team in the National Football League right now, and they definitely have a point there. The offensive scheme, they try to run a third-generation West Coast system, which you see in like Miami, Green Bay, San Francisco, all these places. It's a Shanahan, McVay style offense, or at least it's supposed to be like that. But Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, has kind of gone his own way, and I really hate this offensive structure. Watching this team on film this week, preparing for this preview video, this is not a good offense at all. It's terribly designed, and I don't really see that changing moving forward. Then the defensive scheme Matt Eberflus runs is patented 4-3 cover 2 base system. You're going to see a ton of cover 2 this week. And really the Bears, I don't think have the talent to pull off a scheme like this. Eberflus could with the defensive talent there in Indianapolis when he was their defensive coordinator, but Chicago's defense definitely doesn't have the pass rush or the talent in the secondary to hold up, in my opinion, and that's why this defense is struggling. Let's go over the season stats for both of these teams. Let's start with the matchup between the Commanders offense and the Bears defense. Commanders offense just 22.3 points per game, but the Bears are giving up a massive 34.3 points per game. Holy schnitzel, man. They get to the yards, it's even worse. Almost 400 yards per game given up by this Bears defense. Not good whatsoever. Now, where the Bears might get a little bit of an advantage here is that the Commanders have turned the ball over this year. 8 turnovers on offense, but the Bears have not done a great job at creating turnovers with just 2 to this point. Of course, the third down and red zone numbers for the Bears defense, not great whatsoever either. Then you get to the other side here where you go to the Bears offense, and look at that number, man. 18.8 points per game. Not good at all. But then you also look at the Commanders defense, 3 straight games with at least 33 points given up. And right now they're giving up 30.5 points per game. That is absolutely unacceptable. But you look at the turnovers here, the Bears are turning the ball over just as much as the Commanders are on offense, but the Commanders are doing a better job at creating turnovers. So I'd expect Emmanuel Forbes, Cam Curl, Derek Forrest, one of those players in the secondary to really have a big game in this one as well. And if you look at the stat line projections here, it would tell you that the Commanders would win this game, but probably a closer game than you think. 28-24 based on the trends through week 4 for these two football teams. And honestly, I'll give you my score prediction here in just a little bit. I really don't think it's going to be this close. Now you get to the injury report here. The Bears do have some injuries here. Tevin Jenkins, he's been on IR. He's an offensive guard / offensive tackle. He has been designated for a return this week, so we'll keep you guys updated on if he'll be playing. Jalen Johnson, good cornerback. He is dealing with an injury. Eddie Jackson, a really nice free safety. He's trending towards playing, but he did not play last week. Braxton Jones and Kyler Gorin, 2 more starters for this Bears team, as on the injured reserve. And then right now the Commanders are actually relatively healthy. Last week, Chris Rodriguez Jr. dealt with an illness. He's going to be a limited participant to start this week's practice. I would expect CR Jr. To be at least on the field on Sunday. I don't know how much time he's going to get, how many reps he's going to get in the backfield. He's the number 3 back anyway. But you got Jahan Dotson, who's currently dealing with an ankle, but I think he's going to be okay. He should be on the field here on Thursday night. Now, coming up, I'm going to give you my keys to victory versus the Chicago Bears. I've got 4 of them to share with you guys here. But first, let's have a word from our brand new sponsor here at the Commanders Report, which is Prize Picks. If you want to spice up your game days this NFL season, get started with Prize Picks today. Prize Picks is a skills-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. If you're looking for a more fun way to spend your game days, look no further than Prize Picks. How does it work, you ask? Here's how. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. Now, you take a look at the entries I put in for Monday Night Football last night. I had the more on Daniel Jones. That was a big mistake. I had the more on Geno Smith touchdown passes. He only had 1, so I missed that one as well. Then I took the more on DK Metcalf receiving yards at 64.5. I think he ended up with like 30-something. So I missed on all 3 of my picks yesterday. So don't take my advice, I guess. But anyway, man, check it out now at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a deposit match up to $100 today. At Prize Picks, you aren't competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. With Prize Picks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks. So get started right away. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS for a deposit match up to $100 today. Now let's talk about some keys to victory here for the Washington Commanders. I think the number one thing that you have to do is you have to make Justin Fields beat you through the air. Now you take a look at my Justin Fields scouting report heading into the week. He's got all the tools that you want from your franchise quarterback, right? This is why he went in the first round, right? He's an elite rusher of the football. He was the most valuable rusher in the National Football League last year, if you believe the sabermetrics. But this year, Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, isn't really using him in the run game. I don't know why that is. They're trying so hard to make this guy a pure pocket passer. But let me tell you, man, that's just not his game. He doesn't have the mental processing or the vision to really be a true drop-back guy, at least at this point in his career. And then his pocket presence is certainly not fantastic, and the accuracy has been spotty throughout this season. But, of course, he's got the physical tools that you look for, and he's got that game-breaking athleticism, or if you allow him to rush for 150, 200-plus yards like he did multiple times last season against some opponents in the second half of the year, you're going to be in trouble here if you are the Commanders' defense. So you have to make sure he stays in the pocket, and you have to try to make him beat you throwing to his wide receivers. Now, a big thing that you're going to have to do to make number one happen here is number two, you have to load the box. Put Cam Curl in the box, load it up with 8 defenders, and really force Justin Fields to hit his receivers in one-on-one matchups. I trust Kendall Fuller. I trust Emmanuel Forbes in man coverage. I know Forbes kind of got cooked by A.J. Brown last week. In fact, he got cooked out multiple times by A.J. Brown last week. But I definitely want to make Justin Fields beat me with his arm through the air. And putting another defender in the box just gives you that much more of a numbers advantage and limits what the Chicago Bears rushing attack can do in this game. You got to make sure that Justin Fields is the one that beats you if you're gonna lose at all. Now you get to the offensive side of the ball, and I want to keep the mojo going with Sam Howell. I mean, 3 out of the 4 games to start this season, Sam Howell has looked the part of a starting NFL quarterback. Had a really tough game against the Buffalo Bills in Week 3. But overall, Sam's numbers have been really, really good. A 67.1% completion percentage, just under 1,000 yards passing, 4 touchdowns passing to 5 interceptions. But he does have a rushing touchdown as well, so you want to keep that in mind. I think Sam has actually played pretty darn well to start this season. And by the way, 4 out of the 5 interceptions came in one game against the Buffalo Bills. So I really think that Sam is the future at the quarterback position this year. He's been under pressure a lot. I think he's done a really good job handling that pressure. I think offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy is doing a good job giving him solid game plans that he can work with. Got the ball out of his hands quick last week. I want to keep that mojo going against a fledgling Chicago Bears defense. Now, the final thing that you have to do here, pretty much on the field, on paper, the Commanders have all the advantages here. But on the short turnaround, it's a short week, right? You don't have many days to prepare. You don't barely get any practice time here before the start of this football game. It's really going to come down to how the players adjust to not having much time to prepare. It's going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to efficiency. It's going to come down to willpower, all these different things. And I think the Commanders have the advantage here because I trust Ron Rivera as a coach a lot more than I trust Matt Eberflus at this point. And because of that, I'm going to pick the Commanders to win this football game 31-17. I think Sam Howell's going to do a great job. I think he's going to be dealing all night long. I think there's going to be spurts where Justin Fields looks like an awesome quarterback, but he's also going to have spurts where he doesn't, and he looks like a terrible quarterback. I think he's probably going to throw at least one interception, maybe multiple. I think this pass rush is going to get after him. And overall, I think it's going to be a very, very commanding win here for the Washington Commanders at home to improve to 3-2 and get their season back on track. Now, let me know what you guys think for this Thursday night matchup. Put your score prediction for the Commanders versus Bears on Thursday Night Football. Do me a favor right now. Get in the comment section. Let me know. And then also, if you want to see where the Commanders stack up here at the Chat Sports NFL Power Rankings heading into Week 5, go ahead, go into the comment section and find the link to that. I'm going to put that in the comments and description of today's show. It might be a little bit higher than you think. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. Make sure you click that subscribe button because on Thursday night, we're going to have an hour of pregame coverage followed by live play-by-play for our live watch party. We're going to have Super Chat giveaways, raffles, all this different stuff. You are not going to want to miss it. If you want to join us and you want a place to kick it with your fellow Commanders fans this season, go ahead, do me a favor. Click that subscribe button right now, and I'll see you guys later. And until next time, hail to the Commanders.